Hello and welcome back to another edition of Dukes on Twitch. Back with another Legacy League tonight with Maverick. But a quick shout out to my new sponsor, Card Hoarder, which is very cool. Something I've been really trying to get on board for a while. And on Wednesday, I actually got the go ahead with joining the Card Hoarder team, which is really cool. Of course, MTGO Mate has been there since the start, and of course, if you need any singles for Legacy or really any formats, you should definitely check out mtgmate.com.au. But yeah, very cool to join the Card Hoarder team. This is actually the first stream back since I have joined up with them, which is really cool. So looking forward to seeing where that goes, especially with the decks that I can now have access to. It's pretty great. Tonight I will be playing with Junk Maverick, also known as Dark Maverick. The splash probably not as flavorful as, for lack of a better term, back when it used to play Dark Confidant, and when it first sort of came out, when Maverick was a beast in between sort of 2012, 2014. But I really like the access to Thoughtseize in the sideboard and also Zealous Persecution. And I've found use for the extra Assassin's Trophy as well as just an out, which is really cool against a lot of decks. Like Jace is a pretty big issue for a deck that can't really go too wide against Jace decks, but yeah, it's pretty good. Julian, welcome. Holla, Germany. But yeah, very keen to go back with this deck. We did pretty well last league, actually running out of time to not get the 5-0. What's a typical Australian greeting? Hey there, mate. Yeah, g'day, mate is a big one. So good day, but just saying g'day. Or just like how you going. How you going is actually a pretty big Australian greeting. Sadly, I got new speakers, but they're not working, which is pretty rough. So just playing a bit of music off my phone for a bit of background music. But let's get straight into a league. I mean, that's what we're all here for. Pretty hot in Australia right now, but luckily we have air conditioning, which is pretty nice. Not the greatest for the environment, but it's keeping me cold, so I can't really complain. Mr. McNaught, good to see you in chat. Hopefully see you this weekend. Brisbane is hosting a Legacy Trios event, so teams of 3, all Legacy players against each other, battling out for really the first crown for a 3-person Legacy Trios, which should be pretty fun. We'll see how that goes. Usually it's Modern and something else like Highlander, or even Standard, but the three Legacy players all in one should be pretty good. Imagine Legacy Battle Royale, 40 people go in, only one emergence. I really like that. I've definitely heard of Iron Man tournaments where if you lose your match, your opponent gets to rip up your deck, which sounds like a massive waste. It sounds really cool. I mean, if the game was going to end or something, it'd be a pretty good way to go out. Kind of like the last person in the world standing with a deck would be pretty cool. But yeah, in terms of Maverick Online, I've really enjoyed it recently. A lot of people kind of expect D&T to be the creature-based fair deck, so a lot of the neg 1 hate doesn't really hit you when you're playing Maverick, which is nice. It does hit Mother of Runes, Thalia, Mana Dorks, but not so much your progressive creatures that can actually put on some sort of clock. I beg your pardon. On the play, and this hand's actually pretty good. So we have some acceleration in Noble Hierarch, we have some removal in Swords to Plowshares. Thalia is really good. We can actually go turn 1 Noble, turn 2 Scryb Ranger, untap Noble and land, play Thalia, which is really good. So we're gonna keep this. We're on the play, so hopefully you're not playing against anything too unfair. But that could change things up pretty fast. Shijimi, great name. Chalice for 0. Interesting. Snow-covered plains. Okay, so it looks like we're playing against Big Red. So luckily we can actually go ahead and use this Verdant for a forest straight away. Leaving the Windswept Heath because he can get both. He can get both basics, which is really nice. Yeah, second Hierarch seems sweet. Fiery Confluence can be pretty bad against us. It can really wipe the board. So Prelate on 4 is going to be really nice. Blood Sun. Okay, so that means we can't fetch with our Windswept Heath, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not too bad. We do have a few plays here. So if we draw into another land, it's a Windswept Heath, which is pretty rough. So Blood Sun does turn off fetches. I'm just going to make... Oh, what I could have done, actually... I should have kept it, because I can actually play this Scryb Ranger, return the forest, untap the Noble Hierarch, and then play something else as well. This could be okay, the Eldrazi deck. Okay. That's pretty interesting too. Let's just go ahead with Scryb Ranger. And then we'll use its ability to untap the Noble, return the forest, which we should have played for turn. And now we can just play another Hierarch and pass turn. Could have definitely not done Scryb Ranger as well, because it does put us back a turn, as Captain QC says. But I like getting the creatures out there. We're still putting down a mana dork, so getting the land back into hand isn't too bad. Warboss. Warboss is fine, so we're going to stop it there. Turn. We don't have a forest to do anyway. No blocks. Tireless Tracker. Okay. So we have access to 4 mana this turn. I think I'm pretty happy to... probably play the Tireless Tracker and then get rid of the Legion Warboss with swords. We can definitely attack first, which is nice. Yeah, Prelate as well is really nice, so I might even do that. So we can play Prelate. Name 4. And then we can also use Scryb Ranger to untap the Noble, returning the forest, and then just use this here to swords the Legion Warboss right now, and pass. Yeah, so the Blood Sun kind of gave me away, but I know they definitely play Fiery Confluence. Chandra as well, most likely. Another Blood Sun's fine. That's not really going to do much here. Blood Sun actually doing quite a bit against our fetches. But it looks like the second Blood Sun isn't great. Playing the Chalice for 0 is pretty bad. Chalice 1 is fine right now. They can't do anything. We don't have any 1-drops in hand anyway. And we don't really need any right now either. Another Thalia is fine. So we can attack first. They're on 13. I like keeping this Sanctum Prelate back because it just blocks the Goblin forever. So we can just attack in with the Scryb Ranger for 3. We can play Tracker, and then Scryb Ranger, we can untap a Noble to return the forest, and then we can play a forest, get a clue. Oh, we've already played a land for turn. That is fine. So really just picking up the land there so we can get the extra trigger next turn for Tireless Tracker. We do have the Windswept Heath as well, but at least if we drop the forest, we have a little bit more mana to play with if we draw something and want to play it the same turn. Because of what we have on board, I'm pretty happy just to attack with everything. I don't know if there's a reason to actually crack this clue before we attack in. I mean, we might as well. Jitte's pretty good. We can't cast Jitte here, but we can get in. I don't think they can have anything in instant speed for the Prelate, so I'm pretty happy to attack here with everything. They're going to block the tracker, so obviously just trying to save some time here. There's a Punishing Fire, okay. Punishing Fire is pretty interesting. Did not expect that. I could play the Jitte this turn if I really wanted to. I kind of like that. So let's untap Hierarch for the forest. Yeah, I didn't really pick it up to be a Punishing Fire deck, to be honest. So I kind of just took the biggest out. I don't think they'll have time here to actually put down something like Grove and Punishing Fire us out, but you never know. Interesting setup. I never played against this deck. I have heard of it. I think I saw it in a challenge, maybe, in the top 32. There's a Confluence. So that's going to be pretty good, but it won't kill the Tireless Tracker. It will kill the Tireless Tracker, because you can choose 2 each, of course. Green Suns. We can't Green Suns for 1. I think we just have to play the Forest and pass. With the Chalice out, it's pretty rough. Smash is pretty good. So Smash is a pretty good clock. It is going to be a 4-turn clock. Wasteland. We can go and get a Noble Hierarch. Green Suns for 1. And sadly just pass back. Interesting deck to say the least. Yeah, sadly it doesn't. And seeing that they're attacking with a Smasher, they obviously might have an answer to this Noble Hierarch. Simian Spirit Guide, okay. Knight of Autumn. I think here we just play the Qasali and pass with mana up. We could play the Knight of Autumn as a 4-3, which doesn't do a whole lot. So we could just be dead. You can gain 1 turn by gaining full life. That is correct. I can actually equip and swing, but that does turn me off mana as well, because Noble Hierarch's my only source of white right now. I kind of like playing Qasali and just passing with a mana up. Another Reality Smash is pretty rough, so maybe it's even a case of just... Yeah, I don't mind playing the Knight as well. It makes me use all my mana, which is nice. I think a 4-3 is better than gaining 4. Just because then it won't just trade with the Simian Spirit Guide. So hopefully we can gain some time. We of course lose pretty much to double another Smasher off the top. So that might be a reason to play the Qasali and keep up Wasteland to Wasteland the Ancient Tomb. Walking Bliss is also pretty scary. It's so weird seeing so many different elements of different decks, like Punishing Fire, Chalice, Blood Sun, all in like one deck. Yeah, we go to exactly 0. So we can block 2. Yeah. So they have something in hand, but I'm not sure what. Luckily with Jitte, if we do get to attack in and they block with, say, the Smasher, we can trade without discarding because this is only if a spell targets your ally Smasher that you have to discard. It isn't if you target it with something like Umezawa's Jitte, so an activated ability. What you got? What you got, Shijimi? This deck actually looks pretty fun to play against. Just coming in with the Smasher, that's going to be fine. I mean, we're going to be dead to Ballista if they have it. They might have been thinking there, did they play Ballista and get rid of the Knight? I think we just take it here. We can't do too much else. Trinisphere, okay. Catacombs does nothing, sadly. We kind of have to attack as well. So I don't mind actually attacking in with the Hierarch. We can then use the counters to either kill the Simian Spirit Guide or block the Knight on the Smasher and give it -1/-1. So I think we actually... equip to the Hierarch and swing through. We can't use our fetches, sadly, because of Blood Sun. And I kind of want to just start dealing a little bit of damage, so we still have a good blocker. They most likely block here. Yeah, Trinisphere is actually really good with Blood Sun here because my fetch is already turned off, so being able to cast multiple cards for 3 mana is going to be really tough. I'd have to draw into something like Cradle. So like play a creature, play Cradle, tap for 3 again. Arrgh! Sweet deck butt. It's always cool seeing people build decks out of kind of already established decks. So in this case, if he blocks, we lose our white source. We do. That's very true. We have to draw into something like a Dual Land or a... the basic planes. It looks like they're not going to block, which is kind of nice. I think we just pass and see if we can draw into something and hopefully skip a turn by not drawing into something, but it looks like that's going to be another Smasher. That's rough. So we can gain 7. So we can go to 7. We can block 3, so we can gain 10, but we're still going to take damage from the Simian Spirit Guide. So that is going to be game. So Blood Sun, they're actually doing a hell of a lot. So I'm not the biggest fan of Thalia. We're probably going to be bringing in a lot of non-creature stuff. It's actually not too much to bring in. On the play, I actually quite like Thoughtseize. A lot of these decks usually try to keep a turn 1 2-drop or 3-drop if they can. And Assassin's Trophy seems pretty good just to get rid of some little shenanigans. Mum seems okay. Gaddock Teeg can probably come out, although it does stop the 4s. So Gaddock Teeg stops Chandra if they play it, and Fiery Confluence. So that means Prelate can name something like 2, which stops Punishing Fire and also Chalice on 1, which is kind of nice. I don't mind the Ramunap. I don't mind the Sylvan Library. We can get pretty aggressive with it. Maybe it's a sword that comes out, although they are on the Eldrazi plan, which is pretty rough. So maybe it's something like the Sword of Fire and Ice. No, that's pretty good actually. Pretty good against their removal suite. Maybe it's just another Reliquary. Actually, Reliquary is so good against Eldrazi. This is actually quite rough. Yeah, Ramunap's not very good underneath Bloodsun. That's very correct. So we'll actually bring in, sorry, Tireless Tracker, take out Ramunap. We're down to 60. I'm pretty happy with this. None of this really matters. Let's just go ahead with what we have here. Yeah, Knight's really good, especially as a 6/6. I mean, that's what you really want. The only issue being that if we do have something like Thoughtseize, we don't here, which is fine. I still kind of like this hand. So we can turn 1 Forest Green Suns for a Dryad Arbor. We just hope they don't have a Blood Moon. I don't think they would in a Eldrazi deck. I think they'd probably be playing Blood Sun instead. So I'm pretty happy to keep this. Yeah, loving this hand. So I think we do definitely fetch Even So just for the basic forest and then go for Green Suns for Dryad Arbor. This also makes Knight a 3/3 on turn 2, so it can't be hit by something like Punishing Fire. This also means they have like an Ancient Tomb Chalice for 1. That's pretty bad for them. We do have a Savannah, we have a Knight of the Reliquary, of course, and a Wasteland. Sorcerer's Spyglass. Okay. I'm going to assume Knight of the Reliquary here. But they could also get got by Wasteland. I'd expect a Blood Moon if this is a variant of Mono Red Prison. List has been running the moon. Damo, you were very correct. This could definitely be. So they name Wasteland. Okay. That's going to be fine. We actually have a Ghost Quarter in here. Scryb Ranger is pretty insane with Knight. I think here I'm happy just to play the Savannah. I can't get down both of these, so let's just tap out for the Knight. Not too sure what they have for like a resolved. Thought not. Okay, Thought not most likely taking the other Knight. Thoughtseize is interesting. We can actually attack here. So we can attack with the Knight. That's gonna be fine. Now I'm pretty happy just to play the Scrubland. They've named Wasteland with the Sorcerer's Spyglass. So we'll untap this Knight, sacking this forest. Returning the forest, sorry. And then I'm actually pretty happy to sack the Savannah. Get a Bayou and Thoughtseize them. And see what they have. Punishing Fire, Rabble Master. I think we definitely take the Rabble Master. They don't have any red cards at the moment. They did, let's just clarify that with Sorcery Spyglass they did name Wasteland, so let's just play this forest and pass. This does also mean that in their upkeep... Actually, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to see if they attack in first. I could Ghost Quarter them, but then they get to start Punishing Fire my stuff. Could have got a Fetch Land as well. That's probably actually the correct play. Makes Knight a 5/5. Yeah, they're just going to say they can't beat that. Interesting. Not sure how much I like Thoughtseize on the draw. I don't mind Blessed Alliance as a removal spell. It gets Smasher and it can also play around Chalice for 1. So I might take out a Thoughtseize for the Blessed Alliance, just because we're most likely not taking a threat, so we kind of have to get rid of one. It's just a little bit weaker because they do play the goblins that make 1/1s, of course. I think I'm still happy just with 2 Thoughtseize, just in case. They can get... their hand can actually get pretty bulked up with some pretty high casted cards. So let's just try this. Untap 2 creatures is a real mode with Maverick. Yeah, that's very true, especially with Dryad Arbor. This hand's pretty rough. So we have the Wasteland as a land. If it was a forest, that'd be insane, but of course we aren't going to be that lucky. So let's mulligan this. Again, pretty good. We don't want to see a turn 1 Blood Moon, of course, but we can't really mulligan anymore. This is a pretty great hand, so we're going to keep this. Thoughtseize on top is interesting. If they chalice for 1, Thoughtseize is dead. I think I'm happy actually putting this to the bottom. Yeah, exactly. We probably wouldn't Thoughtseize for a while. This is looking like it's maybe a turn 2 Thought-Knot hand. So maybe here I just want to play the Windswept Heath. I think we just want to fetch here. We could keep up Swords to Plowshares, but a Knight is pretty much a removal spell for Thought-Knot anyway. So I'm pretty happy here just to get a Forest, play a Birds of Paradise, which gives us mana for next turn anyway. They haven't seen Batterskull on this list. We don't play it, but they could be scared of it, so maybe they'd even take Stoneforge. Yeah, I assume they take Swords because it's like a clean answer to the Thought-Knot Seer. And Swords and Stoneforge Mystic in the same turn is still a really good play. If anything, I should have actually used the Verdant Catacomb to get the Forest and left the Windswept Heath open to get a Plains if I really wanted it. Looks like they're just taking a Knight. Which is going to be fine with us. Wasteland's pretty good as well, but I think here we just fetch up a Savannah and play the Knight as a 4/4. They're going to attack, that's more than fine. Our life total is pretty high. Next turn we can make this Knight even bigger than the Thought-Knot, so it is pretty much a fog for turns. Another Thought-Knot, okay. I don't think they'll play Dismember. Dismember would be pretty good there. I'm assuming if they did, they'll Dismember first. Crater Maker, okay. Another Wasteland. I think here we just hit their Temple. Play Stoneforge. Probably just getting Jitte. And I think just passing turn, I kind of want to keep the Knight back as a blocker. We can't really use it here to get a Wasteland. I don't really want to go down to 6, because then it gets just into Reality Smasher for the win mode. So playing a little bit defensive, but I think they do have some pretty good. Yeah, I don't know about wasting again, because it does leave the Knight tapped, which means they get in for most likely 10, putting us to 4. Which kind of means that next turn they can just swing in for lethal again. I'm kind of just playing around the worst case of Smasher this turn. Yeah, so that's rough. So I think here I definitely want a Knight in front of the Smasher. I'm not sure if I want to throw away the Stoneforge Mystic, but I think I do. Yeah, there's no Smasher if we waste, but then we still take pretty much 10, which is pretty rough. So let's go to blocks. I think we just block here and here. We take 6 and go down to 8. I'm going to sack the forest. I don't mind just getting a Wasteland here. I could also get Cradle. Cradle allows us the next turn to equip the Jitte to Knight and also play Wasteland. Yeah, I think we get Cradle. Because we still have 2 creatures, so it taps for 2, 3, and 4 with the bird. The only thing I'm scared about is Simian Spirit Guard in hand to sack the Goblin Crater Maker to deal damage to the Knight. But I think this is fine. Okay. Yeah, playing Mum's free, that's very true. It's a case of, do I want to allow them to sack the Goblin Crater Maker to blow up the Jitte? Or do I want to get in with it this turn? Maybe I even just want to hold it back. I think I want to play it. I think I want to put it on the Knight defensively. So I think I want to actually just play this. Use the other one to equip to Knight. And then hit that Temple and pass back. Yeah, Dryad Arbor can definitely be a blocker, but I think here they don't have great attacks. Yeah. Blessed Alliance. Blessed Alliance allows us to untap creatures, which is pretty nuts. So I think here I'm happy to actually attack with the Knight. And then next turn, we can cast this. So we can make them sack an attacking creature and untap the Knight. So most likely here they block with the Greater Maker and then blow it up before damage to hit the Jitte. And then next turn when they attack in, we can actually make them sack an attacking Thought Knot and untap the Knight, which is pretty good. They could have double blocked as well, but I think they're in a position where they think they can get through. Getting in. All right. So we're going to cast with 2 modes. We're going to untap 2 target creatures, and opponent sacks an attacking creature. Going to choose the knight. They're going to sack. This isn't going to work out well for them. We get to draw a card as well. Mum's okay. Block here. And then I think before damage, we even just take them off their Eldrazi Temple now. So it means that they can't actually use their mana. I think they're just going to concede. Yeah. So definitely could have played a little bit tighter there and using Knight every turn. Even just for fetching and then getting another colored source. Cheers, Julian. Enjoy work. Thank you very much for coming in. You have to send me your 5.0 YouTube video as well with green white. I swear you have it somewhere. I just cannot find it. This hand's okay. This hand's fine. Oh, it's you, London? Oh, man. This hand's gonna be fine. We'll be fine. Alright. We'll go and get a Savannah. And Green Suns for 0. I believe you do. I believe you did it last year with green-white. Tomb, okay. Not good. Professor Top Hat, thank you very much for the follow. Let me know where you're from. What you play in Legacy, if you have like a local scene. Dryad Arbor against Grizzlebrand is not too exciting. This is most likely Animate Dead, okay. Not too many outs. We do have Karakas in the deck, which is nice. I was in your London stream the other day. I was really hoping this was his spicy black-white Soul Sisters list. Yeah, very cool to see that he went 5-0 in a league with Soul Sisters. Ashen Ride is pretty good. We know the game's over. That's pretty rough. But there's always that slim chance. There's always that 1% that you can get through it. When you're discarding Dark Ritual, you know your hand's going to be pretty good. Mother Runes is not going to do it. I don't think there's any chance that we can get back into this. Yeah, this does look pretty grim. Let's just save some time. Pretty good start. So yeah, not much we can do there. We can, of course, play it out and see how we go and try to get something like Mother of Ruins and Scryb Ranger online, but that's just not going to happen. I'm sorry to say. So Gaddock Teeg can come out, Excavator can come out. Tracker's a little bit slow, but I probably like it over a Knight. Swords are still really nice. Stoneforge package can come out. I like the Qasali Pridemage and the Knight of Autumn for things like Animate Dead, which is pretty good. Bird is a blocker for a turn, then Karakas. Yeah, I don't think I'm winning that one, sadly. Thoughtseize is great, especially on the play. Faerie Macabre's awesome. Surgical's really nice. I don't mind Blessed Alliance to get around Archetype of Endurance. Assassin's Trophy seems pretty sweet. Path's really nice. I like Canonist a little bit over Thalia. Thalia's still really good. Sylvan Library is really good because you can get really aggressive with it. We can probably drop down on the number of beaters we have. Because London, I know, like, London's most likely just going to concede to pretty good hate. Maybe cut one Thalia just because we have so much non-creature spells coming in. The Sylvan Library might not be what we want. It might just be too slow. And then maybe it's just actually putting down our Green Suns package to literally one of each card. I don't think multiple Knights is going to do anything. I think if Knight comes out, he's obviously going to go for non-legendary creatures like Ashen Rider to get rid of things like Knight or Karakas. So let's just go with this and see how this fares against the deck. Would love to play first. It's just started raining as well, which is pretty nice. His hands are one lander, which is pretty rough. We can Thoughtseize turn 1, but after that we don't have much. Screws is a little bit too late to the party because we don't have something like a turn 1 Mana Dork. So I actually kind of like being aggressive and mulliganing this hand. A little bit worse, but we don't have access to black mana. We don't have any Surgicals or Faerie Macabres. I think we just keep it and go with the flow. Hopefully he goes for Archetype of Endurance first and we can Blessed Alliance it. That's... I'm just going to keep this. It's a playable hand. It has some spells we can cast. It has Removal and Swords. If we draw into a fetch land, we have access to Thoughtseize, which is great. So happy to keep this. Hierarch can go on the bottom. Chancellor there would actually been pretty bad for us. So luckily, no Chancellor. That's always nice. They're down to 6 as well, so not too bad for us. Bloodstain Mire straight away is also pretty rough. Something like Dark Ritual. Looting, okay. So what we don't want to see is something like Lotus Petal into Reanimate spell. Elish Norn's pretty good. However, Elish Norn... Ooh, there's Surgical, so we can keep Surgical around. We need a mana to pay for it if we play Thalia, so I think I'm happy just to pass here. I think they're just going to pass turn. No, there we go. Looting is going to be fine. Drawing to a land would be pretty sweet. Another Thoughtseize is not great. So I don't mind actually just attacking here. So I want to keep the Surgical back, of course. But I can't play through Thalia. What I'm also scared of is maybe putting the Surgical on the Elish Norn now, playing Thalia, and in response they entomb for another creature and then get it back next turn. So happy to actually just start trickling down their life total, so maybe we turn off one extra Grizzlebrand activation if they have it. Collective Brutality would be pretty good. There's a Reanimate, so I think we just... I don't know if we Surgical it. We can definitely just Swords it and let it trade with the Hierarch. Because what I'm scared of is Surgicaling this and then them going sort of Dark Ritual into Entomb etc. So I think I'm actually just going to let them have it. Yeah, exactly. Or even something like Archetype of Endurance. We have the Blessed Alliance, of course, but... Cabal Therapy is pretty good. I think we just do it now. We get to see what's in their hand, which is nice. Yeah, Entomb Reanimate. That's pretty good. Assassin's Trophy, Dark Ritual. Trophy, Ritual, and Tomb Reanimate. Okay, it's pretty good. What did they name? Name Soul's Plowshares. It's pretty good. Can't beat that. They can't attack with it, which is nice. So we need to draw a land. We need to draw a land because then we can cast Blessed Alliance. Ooh, that's pretty good. I'm missing this deck so much. Which one? Reanimate? Don't be what is this? Collective Brutality? No, Animate Dead. Oh wow, they're gonna Animate Dead our own dude and then attack with it. That's rough. I think we just lose now. We know they have Assassin's Trophy, so we can take that. We can play the Thalia, which could stop them attacking with the Hierarch, but of course it doesn't stop them attacking with the Grizzlebrand. I think we just play the Thalia, take a hit, and then see if we can get back in the game. It's going to be pretty rough. There's not too much we can do here. I think the best thing we could have drawn is Karakas as just a clean answer. Yeah, they get one draw. They get the Exalted, which is pretty funny. So they get to go up to 11, and then down to 4. Like, some sort of hand disruption would be pretty good here. They could also maybe flashback Cabal Therapy. They could also play Cabal Therapy and flash it back. I think I just need more graveyard hate. I don't have too much. There's Unmask, which is pretty good. So now we're looking for Swords Path Karakas as outs. So not too many. Swords. Okay, that's a start, I guess. Oh, start attacking for sure. I think then we just keep the swords for our turn with the Exalted trigger on the stack. The Tomb's gonna be fine. Maybe Archetype of Endurance, yeah. So in response to this, we have to Swords the Grizzle. And then draw into something really good. Neil Stajir. I did not say that right, I'm really sorry, but thank you very much for the follow. Let me know what you play in Legacy. If you play Legacy, if you have a good Local scene, where you're from. Alright. Catacombs isn't great. I'm pretty happy here to actually Thoughtseize. Hopefully they don't just have creatures. Okay, another Exhume. Probably Animate Dead I take. I don't want them to attack, I have to block, and then get something back. I think next turn I just block with Dryad Arbor off this Verdant Catacombs. Ugh, Hexproof is pretty bad. Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp would be good. Sadly, this is not Death and Taxes. Flicker Wisp doesn't do much either because it's got Hexproof. So they're going to get Exalted. We'll go to blocks. And we'll block here. Yeah, Flicker Wisp Animate Dead isn't that great because then they can put it back on really anything they want. Especially if they're Faithless Looting. Got a bit of Thunder here, which is really nice. Alright, what do we get? Mother of Runes. Okay, so that buys us a turn. Kind of. Yeah, so Mum's a great step one. We have to block here. They discarded Thoughtseize and Unmask to the Faithless Looting, so I'm going to assume that it's Faithless Looting again to try to find some creatures to bin and then reanimate back. Yeah, Mum Fogs, which is pretty nice, but they're most likely going to start hitting some other stuff. They haven't, it looks like. Unless this is a ritual into God knows what. Ugh. Grizzlebrand's pretty good. Knight of Autumn. Canonist. That's just game. That is just game. Pretty rough. Didn't aggressively mull for Graveyard Hate, but we found it and we just didn't really matter, which is pretty rough. But that is pretty much fast combo versus Maverick 101. You really need some good sideboard interaction. We don't really have it. We have a Faerie Macabre and a set of surgicals, but you can't win them all, so that is more than fine. We get to play in this game, which is great. This hand's pretty slow, but I'm actually not too... I'm pretty happy to keep this hand. I have no idea what Poridon plays, so I think here I'll just be going basic Forest into Green Suns for 0. I mean, the start could even be something from Elves, so it doesn't really give us away straight away, which is nice. So let's go Forest. I could also just pass and keep this Green Sun's Zenith for later. We already have quite a few lands. We're not going to be missing land drops, so I kind of like just seeing what we're playing against. Because if we're playing against something like Storm, Green Sun Zenith for Gaddock Teeg is pretty much just game 1. There could be some other cards that I want to play around. This could also look like some sort of crop rotation end of turn. Hey, thank you very much. Very cool to get Card Hoarder online. Volcanic Island pass. I think I'll just play the Mum here and play around Days. I could, of course, Wastelanded them. I didn't really want to get Stifled. I don't think Stifled's that great right now, but it's definitely something on the radar. Scryb Ranger is pretty great against Delver, which is nice. Waste Pass would have been a really good option, but I just want to get that Mum online so quickly. Terramander, okay. Knight's interesting. So I definitely want a Wasteland here. But then I also want to start playing around days a lot. So I think I might even just play a Wasteland. Definitely Wasteland them. And then maybe just Green Suns for 0. That means next turn we can hopefully play Night around days. We could even go to Swords here if we really wanted to. And put them back a little bit more. But I think I might keep the Swords just in case they're on Young Pyromancer. They chose to shuffle with their Ponder, so maybe they're looking for lands. Brainstorm, okay, so maybe they found a fetch land. Interesting. Wow, okay, they missed their land drop. It's pretty good for us. We get to play Scryb Ranger. This might even just get forced if they're trying to read it. I played this first because I want to be able to tap the Dryad Arbor for mana and then untap it with a land and play Knight of the Reliquary. It's got Pro Blue, so that's pretty good for us. Okay. I could even just play Stoneforge Mystic here as well and see if I'll try to bait the days. They're gonna force it. Okay. That is fine. Let's just pass turn here. Another Brainstorm, so obviously digging for lands, but thankfully for us, a Brainstorm that doesn't hit a fetch land is pretty poor. They're also getting this Terramander on pretty quickly. They can't really Wasteland us here because we can just untap this Dryad Arbor and return this Savannah. So that's going to work out really well for us. Another Stoneforge is pretty good. I think here we definitely just play this Knight. They're going to exile. So let's then tap this for mana, untap it, return this Savannah. That's only green mana. So I really should use the Dryad Arbor there for mana. So we can actually just attack here with the Dryad Arbor. I'm pretty happy with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this Terramander is nearly online. But they're not going to draw a land because we knew they Brainstorm locked themselves. Interesting. Maybe they actually got something else. There's a young Pyromancer, so that's a great swords target. One card in hand as well, so let's go swords first. And then we can go 1, 2, 3, untap, return Savannah. Play Savannah. Green Suns for 1, 2. I don't mind playing myself into days here, because we have this untapped Dryad Arbor anyway. So now we can go get a Knight. Which is pretty bloody big. Yeah, we're just going to win this. Knight's a bit too big to play around with. So, I really like Zealous Persecution, not only for Young Pyromancer, but also for True Name Nemesis, which can be a bit of an issue. Love the chokes, of course. I don't mind the extra path and the Assassin's Trophy. What are we listening to, Dougal? This is just a no copyright, chill, like hip-hop piece. It's like a 30-minute YouTube video, but I've got it just like on replay. I bought new speakers and they just aren't working, which is pretty rough. What I don't like in this matchup, I think Ramunap Excavator is okay. Probably a little bit too slow. Tracker is definitely a little bit too slow. Gaddock Teeg doesn't do a whole lot other than stopping force. Pridemage can most likely come out as well. Sylvan Library, I think, can come out. We can't be too aggressive with it. Yeah, it's some Loffy stuff. Nice pickup there. Prelate's pretty good, especially on 1, even though most of our removals on 1, stopping them from Ponder, Bolt, Brainstorm, you name it. So Excavator can come out, and then maybe even just... maybe even a land. We're not bringing in... we are bringing in some cards. Yeah, it's great study music, and it's also great music just to have in the background of a stream. So let's just quickly look at this. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Maybe it's 1 Stoneforge. Stoneforge is pretty good, though. We saw they had Spell Snare. I think it's just 1 Knight, maybe. Although Knight's just so good. Yeah, it's just going to be a Knight. I think we're just going to take that out and play with this. And see how this goes. I think Knight's really good in the matchup because it can just get above Bolt and be pretty much unbeatable. But I just wanted to make room for some more cards. This hand's fine. It's a little bit weak to a Delver start. But it's got some pretty good turn 1 plays in both Hierarch and Mum. Grafdigger's Cage? Interesting. Okay, so that's turns off Green Suns. There's Knight. So here I'm happy just to play this Hierarch and pass. Bringing in Grafdiggers is an interesting choice. Winter Orb. That's... okay. Okay. We do have Wasteland here, so I'm pretty happy to most likely just Wasteland them. Something like Forkbolt here would be pretty insane, but the one reason I don't like these 2 cards is it really takes them off their aggressive strategy. Like, I think if we get it, they're going to miss our land drop here. Like, that's crucial for them. Like, now we can kind of just shut them off if we get to play this Sanctum Prelate and put it on 1. They're going to daze it. That's going to be fine. It's better than the Knight not getting dazed. Lord Hexed. The Storm is actually really nice. Let's untap the plains. Jitte. Interesting. I don't mind playing that here. Now we get to attack in for 1. Get those beats in. It is storming in Brisbane. It's going to be raining for the next, I believe, 7 days. So get that island walk out. I think we're playing Merfolk on Sunday. Just another pass from them. Let's untap plains again. Swords is pretty good. I'm pretty happy just to equip and swing. We have the mum as well. That's pretty good. Alright, so my opponent here most likely looking for something like a braid. Yeah, they got it. So let's gain some life. Let's go with the plains again. Another knight's okay. We can definitely get in. The joys of country living. It rains like once every 4 to 10 months. Yeah, it's pretty sad. It's been pretty rough, especially for the Australian farmers this year. So this looks just like blue-red. This here could be Fork Bolt, which would be pretty good. But it looks like they're actually just gonna untap the. Oh, our land's pretty great here because now we can actually play the knight. Yeah. We can play the knight around days. And yeah, they're just not going to be able to beat that, so... I kind of felt like their Winter Orb did more harm against them than it did against us. And I'm not too sure how good Grafdigger's Cage is against us. It does shut down Green Suns, but... you know, that is only 4 cards of the deck. Alright. Straight back into it. So we have... Should update the score, actually. Where are we? Score. So we're currently 2-1. So we took down Blue Red Delver, we lost to Reanimator, and then in game 1 we beat like Red Eldrazi. Red Eldrazi was pretty cool. Love to play first. Chat, what do you think of this hand? Something that looks pretty good. We're gonna keep this. First to Thirst. Good luck. Let's play this Verdant and get a basic Forest. Playing the Verdant because the Windswept Heath can get either of the other basics, which is quite nice. So we'll play Hierarch and pass. Next turn we can play Scryb Ranger and Qasali Pridemage in the same turn, which is pretty sweet. Bloodstained Mire, okay. Swamp. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to assume it's one of these 3-drops that they take. And I hope it is, because then we can play these other 2-drops. If they take Ramunap, this might be something like Pox. They're going to take Tireless Tracker. Interesting. Stoneforge. So let's play Scryb Ranger. Let's untap Noble and return this forest. And then I'm pretty happy actually just to get a Plains. And probably play the Stoneforge Mystic and just get Jitte. And pass back, so pretty good turn. Could have also got another forest, so I can play around with Scryb Ranger a little bit more, which is probably the better play. This could be Storm as well. Blue-black with Thoughtseize main deck. That does kind of ring bells for Storm. I was typing away without realizing that I wasn't typing on my work laptop. I almost put some sensitive content into the chat. Thank God I checked to see what they thought seized. Yeah, fair enough. So this is going to be interesting. I wonder if this is Storm. And hopefully they're not counting up Storm right now. Cabal Therapy. Okay. So chat, if you could give me an idea of what I'm playing against. Thoughtseize, Ponder, Cabal Therapy. The name Qasali Pridemage. That's a little bit interesting. Noble Hierarch. So I can play a forest. I can play Jitte. I can tap this for green. I can untap this, return the forest. I can then equip to the Stoneforge and swing in with both of these creatures. This could be ninjas as well, which the Jitte is going to be really good against. I'm not sure then why they would have got rid of the Qasali Pridemage over the Jitte when they knew about it. Liliana Laster would... Dark Ritual, okay. Ad Nauseam, okay. So let's look at the revealed zone, see what they hit. Past in Flames is there. Do they have a tutor? They don't have a tutor yet. But they can try to Lotus Petal Ponder into one. They have to go for more, I believe. Yeah, the Qasali makes sense if they wanted to do some things before they actually pop something like an LED, I guess. I think they have to go further, and I think they can. They have a lot of good drops in their deck that aren't going to kill him. And they want to hit something like Infernal Tutor. They might also want to hit another Lotus Petal so they could actually ponder twice with a shuffle. They've played a land for turn. UB Owling Mine? Wow, they're going to let the resolve, okay. So they're going to try to pedal into a... Oh, they had two pedals. Oh, they had a pedal in hand, okay. So they must have the tutor in hand? Oh, they got Tendrils in the bin. Okay. Where do we see the storm count? 9? So that's lethal there, but we do have 2 abilities with the Jitte. Duress. That's going to be fine. Cabal Therapy's pretty good. This is just dead. 11 and 12 with the tendrils is gonna be it. We just concede. So not too much we can do there, but a lot we can do sideboard, which is nice. So we can take out these 4 swords. We can take out the Stoneforge Mystic. So we don't have Batterskull, so we can't, say, play a Mystic and try to get back from Empty the Warrens, but we can play Zealous Persecution, which is really good. So Zealous is sweet, the Canonist is sweet, the Surgicals are pretty good, the Thoughtseize are instrumental. Excavator's a little bit slow. Tracker's okay. I like the library. I don't mind the Jitte just gaining some incremental life. It can actually be relevant. We can probably drop down on 2 knights and just play like this. I like everything else. I don't think Faerie Macabre's worth it. The only real hit is something like turning off a Cabal. They play so many hand disruption cards as well. I think we just go with this and see how it goes. One cool thing with Scryb Ranger is that we can always put something like a Savannah back in our hand and never have a plains on their turn, so they can't cast something like a Free Massacre. This hand's fine. It's not the great against... we'd love to see a turn 1 Ponder. So this hand is turn 2 Gaddock Teeg, which is pretty sweet. I think I'm happy enough with that to just see if we can get a turn 1 Ponder or Preordain. So we're going to keep this. It is pretty land heavy, but they could start on something like a dual land, which would be awesome. I think it's... I don't mind fetching here. Just getting 1 more land out of the library. Getting something like a Bayou, so we have access to all colors. And playing Hierarch. Basic Island's pretty nice for us, so Ponder's going to be the play. It does mean next turn, without something like Lotus Petal into Thoughtseize, we do get to Green Suns for 2 for Gaddock Teeg. One thing I really like doing in this matchup is actually just using my white mana from my dorks and not getting a white land, so it doesn't turn on Massacre. It's usually brought in, it hits all the relevant hate bears. There's Gaddock Teeg. Let's pass back. The island start also means that they can't have something like turn 2 Assassin's Trophy unless they want to use Lotus Petals, which is cool. At least for us, it's cool. There's an Underground Sea, so they could have something like Fatal Push. Ooh, Thalia is pretty nice. I think we attack first with the Teeg to see if they do anything. I think this turn we're going to most likely Wasteland and Thalia. We can't really play around Fatal Push. So let's play Thalia. If it resolves, that's pretty awesome. But I'm going to assume that they cast some sort of removal spell beforehand. Brainstorm, okay, that's fine. The Wasteland here is going to be pretty nice as well. Having the Bayou open as well means we can Surgical in their turn if we really need to. Paying the tax for Thalia and 2 life. So looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Could aggressively hit their Brainstorms or something here, but I'm pretty happy to let them untap and see what they have. Lotus Petal pass, okay. That's going to be fine. Mum is quite nice. I was going to keep that land so I could play the Tireless Tracker, then play a land. Let's just attack here for 4. We'll play the Mum. And then I think we'll just pass back. I don't really want to get... I don't want to get a white source with this Windswept Heath, because I don't want them to untap, play something like Chain of Vapor on Gaddock Teeg, and then just massacre the board. I think I'm pretty happy to play it safe. They're still on a 3-turn clock. I mean, Dread of Night is pretty good, but they obviously don't have it. They're going to concede there. Looking back at what we have, I don't mind a cheeky choke, which I think will probably take place of the third Knight. Knight's really good as a beater in this matchup, but I feel like you don't want a beater. You want an assembly of creatures that are going to disrupt their opponent and at the same time beat down. So like there with Gaddock Teeg and Thalia, we also have Canonist, which is nice. Scavenging Ooze, of course, is great. So let's just submit this and see how this goes. Always exciting against Storm. I think Storm is probably the biggest puzzle of a deck, and I can definitely see why that's something a lot of people would really like. This hand's pretty good on the draw. So if we draw into a land, we have both Green Suns for Gaddock Teeg and also Thalia. So I'm pretty happy to keep this. We also have Choke and Sylvan Library. Sylvan Library we can be really aggressive with. They've got a 6 as well, so that's a little bit rough for them. But obviously nothing too hard to deal with. I'm going to assume the Thoughtseize here takes the Thalia, which it does. If they did have something like... There's Screws. Okay, so Screws is interesting. But I think here we just go for probably Bayou into Noble Hierarch and pass back. I feel too dumb to play Ant Tez, to be honest. I just can't grasp the lines. Yeah, I think it's something you definitely get with practice. I think Ant's probably a pretty hard deck to pick up. I think Ant's a deck that if you pick up and play it, you'll definitely know what you did wrong right after you did what you did wrong. But I think it seems like a really rewarding deck. Like, I have these cards, my opponent might have these answers, how can I play around them and win the game? Especially when Past in Flames comes into the situation, and then also like holding priority when you need to. Playing a Lotus this turn is pretty nuts. They might just be going for something like an early ritual into empty the Warrens. But no, wow, okay. Pretty rough for them. Jitte isn't great. So I could play a Library here, or play the other Hierarch. I kind of like Library. And just pass. Library lets us really dig. But they're definitely down a few cards. Interesting. This could just be a nausea. Oh, do they have? What do they have? Infernal Tutor. Okay. So they're most likely getting Empty the Warrens here. Yeah. So we have Zealous Persecution as an out. Screws can't do much, sadly, but it looks like they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Yeah, okay. Game on. Zealous Persecution. Come on, baby. Thoughtseize isn't great. Ah. So we don't have a shuffle effect outside of Green Sun Zenith. So then we put this back. And we put this back. So we can play Savannah. I don't mind... We can Green Suns for 0. I think we can take it back if we Green Suns for 0, get to... I don't think we play the Jitte. I think we play Scavenging Ooze and Green Suns for 0. Scavenging Ooze can block 1, but I guess Jitte can actually... I think, yeah, okay, so I think we Green Suns here. Just to get the reshuffle. Getting Dryad Arbor. And then just play Jitte. Because I think, yeah, Jitte definitely gives us more... Yeah, Jitte gets us back in the game a little bit more. I don't believe I block here either. Welcome to the stream as well, Ramo39. Local Legacy aficionado. Yeah, I don't want to block here. We take it. Alright, what do we have on top? Sword of Fire and Ice, doesn't do much. Ah, not there. We don't have a shuffle effect. That's pretty rough. But we do have a Scooze. So I think we take the Wasteland and then we can equip and swing and also have Scooze. So we put this on top and we put the Noble on top. So we play this land. 1 and 2, equip the Jitte to Dryad Arbor. I think we put it on Noble and swing through. I think we attack first. We see what happens here. They might have something like Fatal Push, and so I don't want to tap out now when I could maybe next phase play the Noble Hierarch as a blocker. So now we can play Scooze. And pass back. Gotta get those views up. Thanks, man. Very cool to have you just sussing out the back of my stream. So you're getting in. So we'll go to blocks first. We'll block 1. And then we will gain life. Do I get to do it again? What are we waiting for, mate? Gain another 2 life. Go down to 4. Dark Ritual. Is this just going to be it? Wow. Ad nauseum. Yuck. I think this is just it. Ugh. Can they deal 6 to themselves? I believe they have a tutor. Yeah, they have Infernal Tutor. So they can Past in Flames. That's just game. They can Ritual into Tutor, I believe. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So we had a few good looks for Zealous Persecution, and we just didn't find it. We'll concede there. That is fine. We had a plan, and it didn't work out. But that's Magic sometimes. We are currently 2-2, so playing for the 3-0. Playing for that 3-0 dream, and then we might play a different deck. Sometimes you just get got. I couldn't say it better myself. Sometimes you just get got. But that's Magic. That's the best part. You can win out of nowhere. You can lose out of nowhere. And I think that's a big part of why people play the game. Because even though every game can be similar, every game can also be very different. So we'll go into this match hopefully on the draw. On the play, I mean. Gotcha. This hand's sweet. We're going to keep it. Turn 1 Noble, Wasteland, Wasteland. Can't... How do you do any better than that? Yeah, I think my outs there were to play the Jitte, gain some life, play the Scoos, and then maybe try to get it back with the Scoos, but... Chancellor! Ugh! Chancellor's interesting. I think I just want to play this Hierarch into the Chancellor. And now we get to, if they don't have a great start, we can hopefully play turn 2 Thalia. A dual land would be nice. Is it a dual land? It's a Lotus Petal. Faithless Looting. Okay. This looks like a Reanimate start. Okay, Chancellor's not too bad. Definitely annoying, but not the worst. Okay. Pretty good. So now we don't have great plays. Ha-ha! Ha-ha-ha! That's how you play Magic. Now we have a serious clock. Dryad Arbor is OP. Dryad Arbor is probably the best green creature around. Another Knight. Interesting. I think here we just play Thalia. Ah, we can't. We have to pay two. Oh no, we can pay it because we paid the first one with... We didn't pay the first one with the Noble Hierarch. So here we can play Thalia. The trigger happens and then we can pay for it. Entomb? Okay. Entomb for Grizzlebrand is pretty good. Yes, we will pay for this. I believe that's a It's Julian emoji. Another Reanimate is really rough. Probably not the... Fast combo is always pretty bad for this deck. It looks like they're going to miss a land drop, hopefully. We draw with a 4-turn clock, although they have a pretty good clock as well. Qasali Pridemage. Does that change anything? I don't think it does. We kind of have to win next turn, which is pretty rough to do. We have to draw into like a Swords or maybe Faerie Macabre, Scryb Ranger to save a turn. But it's not looking too good. Can't be Animate dead. Cabal Therapy, that's going to be fine. Green Sun Zenith for Screws is also a thing. Although we need to draw a land, because then we can't actually gain life because of Thalia. Oh, we have the Knight. Yeah, we can actually Knight for Cradle. Savannah just doesn't do it. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh! Oh, we have lethal! We have lethal! Is that game? Yes! Yes! That feels good. That feels good. Oh my gosh. Alright, so it's nice to steal one. It's always nice to steal one. Just as I was saying, you can win a game out of nowhere. That is why you just gotta love Legacy. So what do we like? We like Thoughtseizers. Even on the draw, I think they're fine. Surgicals are nice, of course. Faerie Macabre's really good. Assassin's Trophy and Path and Blessed Alliance are pretty good. Jitesh, thank you very much. Very cool to get that win. Very cool. Yeah, if they didn't fetch, there was really no reason to cast the Cabal Therapy. What did they name? They probably named Swords of Plowshares. Okay, that's fair enough. So what do we like to take out? I like to take out the Stoneforge Mystic package. Prelate, there's a little bit too... Prelate's not the greatest because we have so many 1 and 2 mana spells that we want to cast. I guess 2 not really, but Prelate can go out. Sylvan Library is a little bit late to the party. Gaddock Teeg can definitely go out. I don't mind Pridemage and Knight of Autumn because they can hit things like Animate Dead, and you can also hit Lotus Petals to take them off mana, which is pretty cool. Ramunap Excavator is a little bit too slow. Tireless Tracker is probably a little bit too slow. We need one more card to go out, and that's probably going to be... probably just a Knight. Everything else is pretty good. If they go for something like Archetype of Endurance that a lot of Reanimated players go for if they don't have Grizzlebrand, to play around things like Karakas, and then also just to get through damage with their other creatures that FX proof. So let's just keep it as is. Ethersworn Canonist seems pretty good, especially in a deck that plays Dark Ritual, but we'll see how we go with this list and go from there. This is sick. This is a great hand if they don't have something like Unmask or Thoughtseize or Chancellor. Because then we can hopefully just Thoughtseize and Surgical. Interesting. So we'll definitely get Bayou. And then maybe it's actually a case of not Thoughtseizing here. I don't want Thoughtseize because this looks like an Entomb hand. So I think I actually like Thoughtseizing here. I don't have a Scrubland. Can I cut it for a Swamp or third Savannah? It's not so black intensive. You're on sideboard. Yeah, I mean, like, I think Scrubland is definitely technically correct, but you could probably play without it. If you do, I would probably go down to 3 Noble Hierarchs and play 2 Birds of Paradise. Because even in this deck, I do get, you know, there's a lot of times where I just don't have black mana, which is pretty rough. I think myself, I'm going to go down to 3 Noble Hierarchs and up to 2 Birds. The flying is relevant, and also just that it can actually make black mana. But yeah, if you don't have the Scrubland, I would most likely go for the 3rd Savannah. Or even... I think we take the trophy and don't care about the other 2. No fetch. Okay. That's fine. So now we get to play the Dryad Arbor and the Noble Hierarch. And hold up Surgical, which is nice. Oh yeah, that's a question I've been meaning to ask you, Dukes. I have 1 Savannah and 1 Scrub. Would getting a Bayou or a 2nd Savannah be better for building this deck? I think the Bayou is awesome. The Bayou is also not... like, I think a lot of people in Brisbane play Massacre, so having a dual land that doesn't turn on Massacre is really nice. But I think one of each dual is, like, pretty basic. One of each dual and then maybe 2 forests and a plains is probably the basis for the deck. And then, of course, as many fetch lands as you want, up to 8, I think. You can definitely run up to 6, but I like up to 8. Just because getting black splashes... just because against a lot of the decks where Thoughtseize is good, it's good on turn 1, so you want access to as many black sources as you can. Interesting. There's Animate Dead. We can definitely surgical this. We do have the Qasali Pridemage as an answer, but they're most likely going to name white. So we'll definitely hit this. And we'll see what they brought in. So they did bring in Archetype of Endurance, and then also a second Assassin's Trophy. But everything else seems pretty stock standard. Oh, what is that? Ah, very cool. Okay, so artifact removal, which doesn't really matter in this matchup. We didn't bring anything in, so there goes their turn, which is nice. What do we get? Plains. Yeah. Reverent Silence is a pretty cool card. We have 4 mana. I think I'm happy to... probably get the Knight online. Yeah, probably play a Knight and then attack with the Dryad Arbor. Ooh, a fetch. Maybe for red mana. Maybe they drew Faithless Looting. It's pretty good. Why not run a Bog in sideboard? It's just, I guess, a personal choice. If you run Bog, then a lot of the decks actually run like the Thespian Stage combo as well. And Bog can be a little bit slow. Unless you run Crop Rotation or you play it in your main phase. Playing it through a Knight of the Reliquary can be pretty slow against the decks where it's really good, like Reanimator. But I've definitely seen it in lists. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think that Surgicals and Faerie Macabre's a little bit better. What are we going to do this turn? I think we just want to play a second Knight here. And then play Thalia. And then Wasteland them so they can't flash back. Where's Wasteland? The Faithless Looting, unless they draw into a land. And then next turn we might just have Lethal, pretty much. Pretty close. I mean, if they fetch, we have Lethal with the 2 Knights, the Thalia, and the Dryad Arbor. But yeah, I just think the biggest downside of Bog in this deck is that, unlike lands, you don't play Crop Rotation. Oh, they just have Reanimate. Okay. Hitting a Knight. Okay. Windswept Heath. I think we just trade here. They most likely kill the Knight, and then they need to do something next turn, or else we're just gonna have Lethal with this Qasali Pridemage. They only have the Grizzlebrand in hand, so it might just be good enough. They're fetching. Ritual. Faithless. Okay. Not sure what they can get. Yeah. That is just game. We get a chest. We get a chest for 3/2, so we will open the chest. What do we get? 5 play points, pretty good. And 2 planeswalkers. Nice. So 3/2. So not the greatest run. Going down against Storm and going down against Reanimator. So maybe that means that we want some more fast combo hate in the deck. I've definitely seen the green-white versions of Maverick play Mindbreak Trap, which is pretty good against both decks. Maybe extra graveyard hate is needed. 2 Surgicals and Faerie Macabre is actually pretty loose. I think there's definitely more room there for more graveyard hate. Maybe even something like Nihil Spellbomb. Tormod's Crypt is also an option because it plays around Chancellor really well. But of course, it also doesn't do much against a card that's... or against someone who's already kind of gone off. But the deck's pretty sweet. We don't have ways to find Sanctum Prelate or Thalia. I have been tossing up with this green-white deck that actually plays a Recruiter package. So with green-white, you don't get access to black outside of the free graveyard hate. So this version actually runs a Palace Jailer, a Walking Ballista, because Walking Ballista with Cradle is just insane. And it's a great way to get rid of some of the sort of in the fair matchups. We already have a pretty good matchup, but it's a nice clean answer to Mother of Runes. Yeah, you can recruit for Ballista, which is pretty sweet. You definitely see that a lot more in D&T now, but I do really want to try out this green-white list at some stage. Most likely not tonight, because I have a pretty early morning for work tomorrow, sadly. But I think I'll definitely run this list at some point. It's so hard putting down the black, because Thoughtseize and Zealous Persecutions are just so good against your bad matchups. There's still definitely a lot of like high-profile players that play Maverick and love the green-white version, so I think it still is a really powerful deck. I'm just not sure if it's a little bit too fair for the current meta. Against things like Miracles, it can be really rough. The Nissa is mainly for the grindy matchups. Nissa's also pretty good against Miracles, just giving you sort of a land. Of course, in Christmas Land, you can tap Cradle and then use Nissa to untap it and tap it again for a pretty big Ballista or a lot of mana for Skoos. But the Nissa is really just a Planeswalker that I wanted to try out, and it's worked pretty well against a lot of the grindy matchups and sort of the control matchups. Against Grixis, it's really nice. Grixis have a pretty hard time of dealing with a 5/5 land outside of Fatal Push. But I've seen people play Garruk the Relentless, which is pretty good as well. It can actually trade with a creature and flip, which is cool. Some people play Gideon. Maybe in the green-white version, Gideon's just a little bit better because it can come down a turn earlier. Yeah, the Innistrad one, so the flip one. It's been played a few times. I'd say it's probably one of the more played green Planeswalkers in Maverick, which is cool. I do miss Batterskull. I think a lot of Maverick decks don't play Batterskull because you don't need the aggressiveness and sort of beatdown that it brings to the deck, because you do have none of the Reliquary. And also because you're not so much of a Stoneforge deck, you don't rely on Stoneforge to get you sort of your win con in Batterskull. But because we play Cradle, it's actually not that hard to cast Batterskull or hard cast it. So in a way, Cradle can sometimes act like your third Stoneforge. I do see some decks play a third piece of equipment in Sword of Light and Shadow or another sword, which is pretty good. I think it can definitely come up. I think Sword of Fire and Ice is definitely the premier one right now, just to get through True Name Nemesis and then also through some other things. The deck list can actually be found on screen. So if you hover over the cardboard live functionality, I'm just going to bring this up onto the screen so you can actually see it. Yeah, this little piece here. brings out all the cards, and you can actually click on them, and it comes out with the artwork, which is really cool, and you can have a good read about it. But I'll also upload this video to YouTube, and you can check out my videos there. It's just Dukes on Twitch through YouTube. Copy button doesn't work for me. Oh, that's rough. I'll have to update that. But thank you guys very much for coming in. Again, a huge thank you to Card Hoarder for bringing me on board to their team for 2019, which is really cool. Of course, to MTG Mate as well. So MTG Mate is a well-known Australian store. Really good for singles. You can get 5% off with Dukes as a code for singles there, which is cool. But that's it, everyone. Thank you very much for the stream. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for chatting. I'll be back on Sunday morning at 9:45 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Usually do Wednesday nights and Saturday nights, but just for the next 2 weeks, I'll be doing Thursday nights and Sunday mornings. So a huge thank you. A shout out to CBR MTG as well. You can find them mainly doing Legacy on Sunday nights in Australia from around 7:30, 8ish, and then Tuesdays with Nick as well. Lord Hex, you too. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Jitesh, Chris, Damo, everyone in chat. Lord Hex, thank you very much. All the best. We'll see you next time. Cheers. Wait. Someone just followed. So, Arador, thank you very much for the follow. Have a great week. See you guys again. Enjoy.